Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm gonna do my November TBR. So I'm pretty much gonna participate in Nonfiction November. That's pretty much what my whole TBR is going to be. I am participating in NaNoWriMo, so to me it's a lot easier to be creative in my own stuff when I'm reading nonfiction, or at least it seems to work the last couple of years. And I'm really looking forward to writing for the first time really this year. I've really not focused on my writing at all, and I'm hoping this will jumpstart it again. So no, I don't have a really good idea. I have a theme, I have a title, and that's in a setting. That's about all I got. Anyway, so NaNoWriMo is going to be interesting. And again, if you don't know what that is when you write 50,000 words on a story in November. So I am participating in that, but this is going to be my Nonfiction November TBR. And as I said, I have quite a few up here that are ones that I talked about in my possibilities video a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to point out the ones that I've pulled down that are the highest potential I'm going to read. But I'm going to pick out my 4 for the prompts, and then everything else is kind of maybes. So I'm going to pick out my 4 first. So if you don't know, Olive at abookolive has put out prompts for this. This is the 5th year, and I've participated in, this is my 3rd year. And I've really enjoyed it because it does get me to read all the nonfiction I've gotten over the year, as well as pick up way too many library books. Another problem I have with that. But it's good a problem because all these great books. So the 4 prompts are all one-word prompts that you can take any way you want. The first is design, then sport, then true, and voice. So I'm just going to show you the 4 top books that I'm going to read, which is 1 for each prompt, and then I'll just quickly show the couple that are in the second running. And then, as I said, I have all these other ones that I can choose from later on if I have more time. And there'll be more library books coming into my house that I have to go pick up in the next couple days. So for design, I'm going to pick the one that's actually the only architecture one I have, which is Brunelleschi's Dome, How a Renaissance Genius Reinvented Architecture by Ross King. This is one of those books that I picked up on a whim and talks about it in Florence at the Santa Maria de Fiore Cathedral. And I'm not actually sure the time period. I just know, you know, Renaissance probably, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. I just thought it. Design. Architecture. So that's number 1. For sports, I'm going with A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. I've never read a full book by him. I've read snippets from things, from other things online and this stuff. So I've never read any of his books, and again, this is one of his most famous ones, Rediscovering America on the Appalachian Trail. So I'm going to give this one a shot. Sports, hiking, people going out on the Appalachian Trail for weeks. It's amazing what they do. It's a sport to me that you would go out and do that. And then true, I'm going to go with my presidential biography of John Adams by David McCullough. So I want to continue, so I have to hit the second book. So the second president of the U.S. So I do have the audiobook for this, so I will be listening to this during Tome Topple, which is taking place in November as well. So I will probably put up a Tome Topple TBR later because I'm going to read another nonfiction book. That's 500 pages, probably at the same time. We're going to try. But this will be the book. I'll be starting my audiobook on the 9th to start this one. Because it's well over 500. It's like it's about 6 something. And yes, that's Cooper's Tale. Stop, Cooper. Anyway, so that is number 3. And then the 4th one for voice, I've decided to go with Down and Out. Hey, cat. Sorry, there's a strap on the tripod. Sorry. So I'm going to go with Down and Out in Paris and London by George Orwell. I've only read Animal Farm and 1984. So I want to read some of his nonfiction, and this talks about his issues with poverty and stuff, I think, during being a struggling writer in the, I don't know, is it the 20s? I'm not quite sure. but it talks about Paris and London, so I thought it sounded interesting. So anyway, so those are the the books that I'm going to for sure pick up for the prompts. Then I'm just going to show the 5 books I have here that I'm probably going to hit. I have 2 other well, no, I take it back. I have 3 other audiobooks that are possibilities. I have Eager, The Surprising Secret Life of Beavers and Why They Matter by Ben Goldfarb. So I, again, got the book from the library, but I had it on audio. So it's all about beavers. I'm from the beaver state. I should read that. Anyway, I didn't graduate from that university, but I grew up close to there. So anyway, we won't go into that. I also have the audiobook for From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Doherty, which is traveling the world to find the good death. And I think this is was her second book after Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, which talks about different places and their rituals for death, I think. So anyway, again, I just read Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs, which was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to this audiobook. And I also have as an audiobook is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer. And again, everybody's been talking about this, and I used to read a lot of true crime. I do have some other true crime that I want to read, but this one, I have the audiobook, so I could read that as well. So those are pretty much the audiobooks I think I'm going to hit in a month. Do you think I could do 4? I don't know. With a tome topple. And then I have a couple, I'm going to throw these up really small. I have Ex Libris by Anne Fadiman, Confessions of a Common Reader. I've just heard really good things about this, and it's really short. So it's a library book. So if I read it, I don't. But the other book that I really want to go to is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, Creative Living Beyond Fear. Again, I'll be writing a novel this month, and anything creativity, based would be nice to maybe help me out. Because again, I used to write all the time. I used to be very prolific, and then I lost, the whole job thing, moving, getting a new job, and I get into it. And it's been years now, and my writing has decreased every year to this year, and it's the least I've written this year of any year, probably in about 20 years. So I really want to get back to writing. NaNoWriMo is going to help me with that, but I also want to read something maybe inspirational. Who knows? And then again, as I said, I have quite a few other selections up here that I talked about in my possibilities. Probably the next closest one I probably will try to read is The Suspicions of Mr. Witcher, which again is a true crime from the 1860s, I think. So that should be interesting too. So anyway, that is all the books I want to talk about in this TBR. I don't know what I'm going to get to. The last 2 Novembers, I've done the highest number of books completed in a month. And I think it's because I spend all my time writing, and then the other time, or a lot of my time writing, and then the other half of the time I read nonfiction, and I get through so much more that way. It seems to work. So we'll see if it works again. I'm really hoping it does. So are you guys taking part in Nonfiction November? Are you doing NaNoWriMo? Anybody let me know what you guys are doing, what you're reading, or what you're going to be writing. Mine is probably going to be a suspense mystery story at this point. I'm kind of veering on kind of the contemporary, which I don't know why, but we'll see if that really holds true. It might go fantastical, so it could become an urban fantasy without me even trying, but we'll try that. Anyway, who's going to do, oops, as the cat knocks it over right at the end. Tome topple. So as I said, I probably will have a TBR out for that later in the month when I choose the second book that I'd read with that. We'll see what happens. Anyway, good luck, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.